Good morning, Rabbi Isai. What's your name?
Shiner.
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 From Shire. What's your last name?
Spira.
Spira. From England?
England. Capital.
Did I meet you once?
Yes.
Vada, I met you. That's how I know. Givaldik. Nusa, you listen to the share every day? Wow. Kol hakavod. Givaldik. From Tainus. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Sholi, what's your names? From where? Also, I heard there's going to be the official England Siyum is going to be in Stamford Hill. MS?
Yes.
Representing Stamford Hill. So it's a Hashgacha that you guys came. And you are?
Zimmer.
From?
London, Gold Street.
Also. You know each other?
Talmud.
Talmud of his. What's the name of the yeshiva?
He was Dr. Son.
Ah, Givaldik. Okay. Cool. Rabbi Isai, big news today. Bamis, on a bunch of different fronts. This is the very first, a few very first. I'm very nispal from this. Bamis. 3 new things, and this is the future, I think. Right over here, in Bnei Brak, the very first, the guy went ahead, Moshe Cohen, went ahead, rented a space just for this, to show the shir every day live at 9 o'clock in Bnei Brak, in the office tower.
MDY בני ברק, היום אנחנו חונכים את המקום החדש, חבר'ה, הכשרת היישוב, קומה 3, תבואו, תחזקו, אנחנו כבר פה עם חלק מהציוד, יש פה הרבה מאוד מקום, אבל מחכים לכולכם היום, MDY בני ברק, הכשרת היישוב, קומה 3, תבואו.
Okay, so this is yesterday. In addition, yesterday, for the very first time, in the biggest, largest minion factory in the 5 towns. Look at this floor. Look at this floor. It's unbelievable. Water jet cut tiles over here. Not stam. Every single night at 8:30, live showing of the shear. This is the future, my friend. This is the future. Here, they even have it's in some publication, daily showing, Sunday through Thursday, 8:30. Hachaim Vashalom, Saibis Medrash, 125 Cedars Avenue. Bring your own Gemara. You know what? If you join the share, you can bring your own Gemara. You'll get your own free Gemara. Another thing, this might even be bigger. Yesterday, I had a Zoom meeting with Yeshivas Heichal HaTorah. Here it is. And they are going to be the very first yeshiva, the first of many, many Be'ezer Hashem, that the official night seder is the shir. We show the shir every night, and it's geschmack, easier for the Bochur at night, relaxed. So hopefully people take a clue from this. This is the Nachshon ben Aminadav. They're going to put up a big giant screen. The Bochur are going to sit down. Givaldik. No? Halavai in your generation was like that. In Chevron, where? No, not Chevron. In Terrace. At Terrace. I've always said the MDY booth at Kesher Nafshi, it's a $5,000 gift. Last year, or when at last Shabbaton, this is the number 17 Shabbaton for Kesher Nafshi. Peretz Chaim Levin stayed the entire weekend, not because he goes to Kesher Nafshi, because he wanted to bring another 30, 40 people. Unbelievable. So he sat there and he did that. I wanted to show the Olam, this is, do not learn from me. When there's a siren, especially after this, you go into the mamad. You do. It was a half hour before the Hebrew Shir, and my wife was telling me, we got to go to the mamad, and I'm like, I didn't finish preparing it. And what are the chances, it's one missile that came from Yemen, it's all over the whole Israel, a little piece of sharpener is going to fall on my house. I got to prepare now. That was my thought. It's a bad thought. Do not listen. And then I heard these crazy sounds, it sounded like aircraft flying over. And then I realized it's the system, the arrow or the David, the sling. It's right over here next to Bet Shemesh. Take a look. It's crazy. Put on the volume a little bit just so you understand what we heard. We all heard this, but I was outside. I want to see some kids. Those are explosions in the ear. Now listen. see the smoke? You see that trail of it? Then I realized I might have to go inside.
Close.
And that's my wife calling me, like, where are you? How come you're not in the mamad? Okay. Rabbi Isai, do Avodah Zarah like never before. Rabbi Isai, Reb Fischel is giving $250, but he needs help. This time he's saying he needs help. It's a lot of money. He himself is doing 100 guys, 100 people. And people step forward. This guy gave $2,500. It's 5 people. Another $500. Another 2 people. So, if you want to be mishtatev in that thing, it's MDY, but it's not MDY. It's his thing. And again, if you do his program, I'm warning you now. You have to do every single day, on regular speed, with the emails, and you have to write in 1 ha'ara, 1 comment per share. Those are the rules. And if you do that, you get $250. He has. You have to sign up to his website, mitzvahmo.com, and his WhatsApp group, and you put in the comments in his WhatsApp group. Okay, I think we're done for today. Yeah. You know what? But this video we have to show a couple of times. I don't care. This is a daily. This is going to have to be a daily. We have screens in yeshiva. We have screens on the basketball court. We have screens in the shuls. Be'ezer Hashem. All right. The Masechta is sponsored by anonymous Hatzlacha bruchnius ubegashmius. Monthly sponsors Eli Dyckman for the Refuah sheleimah of TINOK ben Rivka. TCS Israel powered by TALKNSAVE. Jared Ort. Thank you, Rebelli, and the whole MDY Chevra for including me in your share. That's a weekly sponsor, daily sponsor. Anonymous Chus from Benyomin Miller, Zev Koller, for the Refuah sheleimah of Charna Ayabas Liba, who is undergoing open heart surgery this morning. She should have a Refuah sheleimah. Anonymous Lezchus Refuah sheleimah for Tzvi Simcha ben Sara Aidel having surgery today. Should have a Refuah sheleimah. Daily sponsor Mark Aschkenasy, Eli Dyckman, my great grandfather, Chashuve Bochur ben Tzvi Rothschild on his 97th yortzeit. His neshama should have an aliyah. And he's very, very proud of his great-grandson, Mark. Grossman Family, in honor of the wedding of our daughter, sister, to the Chashuve Bochur Chaim Allen. Mazal Tov, Mazal Tov. MDY Kids Monthly, Innovations, Zechus for Official, Chona Akiva, Rivki, Mr. Stefansky, Art of the Month. For Shelaymuh, for Yonatan Eitan, Ben Basheva Bracha, for Zechus for Belly, and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoyable so many. We're talking about the MDY kids. I'm going to say this. I hope Avi Kamiansky sees this and he brings his son to shir. I want to talk to him, Barabim. In honor of Yossi Klein, Mark Aschkenasy, for all the work they do. Aryeh Kamiansky. All right, Rabbi Isai. We're holding like 5 lines from the bottom. It's an interesting thing in our sugya. Sometimes the borrower tells the lender, I trust you like 2 Adim. I completely trust you. In other words, if you tell me I didn't pay you, then I'm going to have to pay you. So my question to you is, do you think there's any difference if a lender tells the borrower, the borrower tells the lender, I trust you like 2 Adim. Is there any difference if he says I trust you like 3 Adim? Is 3 Adim better or worse than 2? 3 is more Adim. I trust you as much as 2 Adim. I trust you as much as 3 Adim. Any difference? So we're going to see there's a little bit of a difference. 3 is worse than 2. Chiddush. 3 is worse than 2. Why? 2, in all of the Torah, 2 equals 2 Adim. Kemei is 100. 3 might not be like 100. It usually is, but if I specify 3, then I'm already counting. And once I start getting into that, it's all over. So says the Gemara. I just want to read the same story. We'll say quickly, same story we said yesterday. We'll do it again, Chazara. Just so there's a little flow here in the next story. We're doing a bunch of stories with halachas. 5 lines from the bottom of Amud Aleph, Amud Beis. You owe me 100. Didn't I pay you back in front of Reuven and Shimon? Also, Reuven and Shimon come along and they said, we were never there. I don't know what you're talking about. We weren't even in the city at that time. Rav Sheshes said, oh, it seems like the guy's a liar. He loses his namanos. Kol misl de leirami alei de inish live adaiti. Why would the borrower remember exactly who was there? He threw it out. He said, I thought Reuven and Shimon saw. No, it was Levi and Yehuda, somebody else. Something that's not on your mind, you don't remember. Oh, so now that we know that idea, yesterday we spoke more about it. There's certain things I said, remember, what was the story I said yesterday about this? Anybody remember? Not even one person. The phone number. Rabbi Yosef and the phone number. Those things that a whole sefer remembers word for word, but it's somebody's phone, his own phone number from home, he didn't remember. Anybody remember their wife's phone number? I just want to know if I'm the only Meshugana that doesn't remember. Because it's in my phone. I go this. Then it's like when I don't have my phone, what's your wife's phone? No clue, yeah? I don't know. Okay. No, because you don't have a smartphone. That's why. You have to go, dee.
I don't have to use it. I don't use it. I don't go like
you
this.
Go, you have that round thing that goes like that. Yeah, okay. Another story. You owe me 600. We learned that if you owe somebody money, you could pay him back, and it happened here in Israel. A guy was really upset at the lender. He kept on nudging him, where's the money? So he said, you know what, I'll pay you back. And he dumped a whole truckload of toilet paper on his front lawn. And you yaitza. That's it. You can pay back with toilet paper. You can pay back with anything. Now, it's his problem now to get rid of $10,000 worth of toilet paper. So what did the guy do? The guy went and took gall nuts. Gall nuts here.
You can see these little dots in each one. Those are the insect larvae, and then they hatch and these dry up and sit on the tree, and you can use them for stuff. They've been used to make ink for dyeing and tanning and stuff like
tanning
that.
Leather. That's what they used to do in the time of the Gemara. Tan leather.
In the juicer.
Well, the original point was to get this juice out really super clean.
Oak gall juice here, and I'm about to drop in this little strip of goat skin that's already prepared. You know, I did everything to that piece of goat skin that I would do. I prepared it for tanning. Basically, it's ready to tan. And this thing is hard. It's decidedly hard. I kind of limbered it up a little bit yesterday, just kind of stretching on it a little bit. But there's no doubt that this is what people
you take
refer
this
to
golden
as
stuff. It's really good stuff. What he's saying is that the color doesn't even come from the actual fruit. The color comes from the larvae of the insects inside the fruit, and that's how they used to tan hide back in the day. So he goes, so that once you know that, now you can understand what he did over here. He goes, takes a bunch of gall nuts, and does this. He dumps the gall nuts in his front yard. Just telling you what you need gall nuts from. Okay, good. And he says, look, I paid you back the 600. Why? Because I just gave you 100 kav of gall nuts, and each kav cost 6. 6 times 100, 600. I don't owe you anything. Omerlei lav, not true. He says, first of all, I don't like you because you gave me gall nuts. But second of all, bar ba'avukayim. It wasn't even 6 per kav. The price for gall nuts is 4 per kav. Also trade sahadi. Now, maybe today was 6, but it's like stocks. Last month it was 4. Also trade sahadi v'amru in bar ba'avukayim. It was only 4 per kav. So therefore, he only paid him back 4 times 100, 400, and the loan is 600. So he owes him another 200. Omarava kafron. The guy is a proven liar. So you should pay him back the rest. In the other story, we said that something that's not on your mind. What, you're supposed to know exactly? Anybody remembers how much a pound of apples and geishas, whatever it is? I don't know. I bought. No. If you bought Tesla a month ago, you know exactly how much it was a month ago, and you know exactly how much it is today. When it comes to certain things, the price in the market, people remember that stuff, especially when you were the one purchasing. Everybody remembers when you bought Microsoft 10 years ago, whatever. Certain prices you remember. Hold on a little, Chavrei. Havli mei zuzim asikna bach yomi 100. B'hashtar, and here's the shtar. So now we have a new halacha here, something that we didn't really see. So first of all, I paid you back. You paid me. This is a new halacha called sitroi. Sitroi means You paid me back, but you don't remember? You borrowed from me twice. What you paid me back is for loan A, not for loan B. This shtar is for B. I admit that you paid me, but that's for a different loan. Omar Rav Nachman, Itra Shtara. Once you admit that you received money from the borrower, that's it. It's all over. Your shtar is no good anymore. And you're going to start explaining it's for this loan, that loan. You admit that he paid you? Great. Take the shtar and throw it away. Rav Papa Omar lo Itra Shtara. No. He still produced the shtar. He has a shtar. And we're going to see. Perhaps he has even a migui. What? He could have said, I never got money from you. What are you talking about? Here's my shtar. It says you owe me $1 million. What are you saying? That you gave me $1 million yesterday? I don't know what you're talking about. That's a migui. I could say that, right? Papa asked the Gemara. Oh, so this is a different story. Another story. This is a story where a guy says, here's a shtar, you have to pay me. What do you mean pay me? You gave me money for the bulls. You sat there by the butcher's block over there, here. Right over here you sat. For some reason this is supposed to look like Benny. So it's shtickle related maybe. And this is where we cut up the meat, and somebody came. You took the profits. In other words, there's Rashi says over here. There's like a iska. It doesn't say iska, but there's like a business deal where I give you money. I'll just remind you what iska is, right? It's not a scary thing. I give you money to buy stuff, and then you sell, and we split the difference. So this wasn't a loan, like a regular loan. You gave me money to buy a bull. I bought the bull, we shechted it, we cut it up, and you were there, you took the money. And he says, yeah, I took the money. But there was a loan B, there's another loan. Over here, Rav Papa says the shtar is no good. It makes more sense that the money went for the business deal. And before, Rav Papa is the one that says, lo yitra shtara. That, no, he has a good taina with the shtar. Says Gemara, Hasam kivin de ka'amar, atayr yavtli, mitayr shakalt, itra shtara. The loiv is saying, look, we made a deal, I'm going to buy bulls, and you took the money from the bulls, and you admit to that, right? You have to add, you admitted to it. So that's what we call, this is a glaim l'davar. It makes a lot of sense that everything the loiv is saying is true. Look, he said that there was a loan for the bulls. You admitted that there was a loan for bull. You went to the marketplace. You saw them shechting the bull and cutting the bull up and selling it, and now you're taking money from it. So of course the money went towards that. There's no reason to believe that there's another loan on the side. Hacha, Eimer Sitroininu. But over here, in our case, where Rav Papa says that there's no problem with the shtar because maybe there is another loan. There's no reason to believe that it went for loan A over loan B. My Havela. What happens when a Malva really says Sitroi, that the money went for another loan? It's not a good. Your shtar that you produce is not good because you admit that you received money from the borrower. That's it. It probably went towards that shtar. When do we say that the shtar is no good? When you paid it in front of Aidel. Even if the loiva didn't mention anything about the shtar. So in other words, even if the loiva didn't mention shtar, the shtar is no good. If there's no Aidel, you just paid him back between yourselves. We have a migo here. The malva could say, the lender will say, I don't know what you're talking about. I never received any money from you. For the same price, you could say, it went to pay off loan, a different note. Gemara says, and we have a right to that. There's a story where Avimi was a borrower, and he sent the money with the shliach to pay back the loan. And the shliach didn't know his stuff, and he paid back the loan, but he forgot to take back the shtar in return of the loan. The Malva says, oh, it was payback for something else. So we say over there that the Malva has an emanos. The Malva is trusted because he could say, I never received the money. Says the Gemara, sorry. Oh, good. Doylem's paying attention. Somebody says to his friend, and there's Aidel that witnessed this whole thing. I trust you, lender. If you ever tell me I didn't pay back, I'll pay you again. You hear what a deal. No matter what, he says in front of Aidel, here, you at the Meidan. If this guy, I trust him 100%. If he ever says I didn't pay, I'm a little forgetful. I'm all over the place. Sometimes I think I paid when I didn't pay. I trust he's good. You know those guys, they know everything. They remember numbers, money, they remember exact. If he says I didn't pay, I'll pay him again, no problem. So he went and paid back in front of Aidel. He's done. But that's what I would think. Now the Malva says, wait a minute, you didn't pay back. And you said that no matter what, you're going to trust the Malva. But I have Aidel that I did pay back. So what do I do now? Too bad. So what if you have Aidel that you paid back? You have to pay again. You have to pay back. Why? Because you trusted the guy. You said you trusted him. It doesn't make sense. All he said is, I trust you more than I trust myself. Does that really mean that he believes him and trusts him more than Aidel? How could that be? So over here it's the same exact story, but not exact. He added one element. He said, I trust you not more than me. I trust you like two Aidel. He's stuck in the two Aidel part. So now we have a new problem. Now if you come with two Aidel that you paid back, but you said that you trust him like two, so that's 2 against 2, then you're going to have to pay him. So he's smart. So he went and he paid him back in front of 3. The question is 3 stronger than 2? I trust that guy like 2. So you know what? I'm going to do it in front of 3. 3 is more than 2. So maybe I believe 3. I mean, what is he supposed to do? I don't know. Maybe shtar and everything. It works. He only trusts him like 2. He didn't trust him like 3. So the borrower wins. He has 3 against 2. So everyone says, what are you talking about? When is 3 better than 2? When you need an assessment. So what's the best way to assess something? You bring 10 guys into a room, you say, how much is this worth? And you tell them to write it down on a piece of paper, whatever. They don't talk to each other. And then we see. So the more minds we have saying something in terms of assessment, the better. The more that we have, the better. When it comes to testimony, we have Yisod and Shas. 2 is like 100. 100 is like 2. Here, a little bit of a visual for 2. 2 is equal 100. So we have a bulldozer on the right that has 2 Aidel and a bulldozer on the left. There's no difference. 2 is 100. 100 is 2. What's the difference? So what's the difference? So you have 3 and he has 2. 2 and 3 is the same. Another way to say it. So he said this from you're believed to me like 2. Anytime you tell me I didn't pay back. Same, right? He paid him back in front of 3. He believed in like 2. 3 is better than 2. What's the difference? 2 is like 100, so 3 and 2 is the same. But what if the guy said, I trust you like 3, not I trust you like 2, I trust you like 3. Now he already went away from the Torah. The Torah talks about 2. It says in the Torah 3, but okay. What's 3? And then he went and he paid him in front of 4. Oh, so that's the question I asked in the beginning. What's worse or better? when the guy says I believe like 2 Eidim, or when the guy says I believe like 3 Eidim. Turns out that 3 is worse than 2. Why? Because when I say I trust you like 2 Eidim, 2 Eidim is 100 Eidim. But when I say I trust you like 3, I picked a funny number. So I trust you exactly like 3. So now if you pay me back in front of 4, 4 is better than 3. 3 is not like 100. 3 is like 3. 2 is like 100. Less is better in this case.
Moving out of the parsha of Eidos.
Right.
Into a parsha.
The nachas, here, that's the lashon of the Gemara. The nachas l'deis. Once you're ready, you go out of the norm of the 2, and you start counting, you start making a asik out of it, so now you're being exact. The nachas l'deis, nachas l'deis. I want to show you a Rashi that you'll never see in the entire Shas. Incredible Rashi. You have to remember this. This is Daf Yomi Amud Aleph. Says Rashi. Shochachti. He puts Rosh Tevis in every word to emphasize each word. Shochachti milefarish hamishna v'hidini mefarish kan. I'm sorry, I completely forgot to explain what's going on in the Mishnah. There's 0 Rashi in the Mishnah. So I'm going to put it on Daf Yomi Amud Aleph. I'm not going to go back to the Mishnah. Rabbi said that's the Yisod. If you miss a daf, you go from there on. You don't go back. It's not shver at all. I'll explain to you. I heard a Maisa Shaya, I forgot the person's name. A Rav wrote a bunch of Svarim. And if you remember back in the day, I was telling the guys in the Kollel, and I couldn't, like, they had no idea what I was talking about. Back in the day before digital cameras, so they had the film. And each, you got 36 pictures, and you had no idea if the exposure was good or not, and then you'd go develop it, and you come back 2 days later when it was ready. Some stores did it, wow, mamish in a few hours. So then you come out 2 days later, and you open up the film, it's all black, and the red eyes popping, the whole thing. It's nerva. You have to adjust. Next time will be better. Next kid. The first kid you messed up, next kid. But I don't know if you remember this. I remember this one. It's like, mamish, I'm alta zaken. The cameras, they didn't have flash. You had to buy a special flash, and it lasted for one, you put it on top, you click, and then it would turn. It would use another flash, and then another flash. That's why I just remember my mother last on a little flash, and it lasted for 4 pictures. Make sure you don't use it stam in the daylight. Only a chick, like it would burst, boom. Okay, anyways, that has nothing to do with what I'm trying to say here. What shaykh is here? Oh, so back in the day, there's something called a typewriter. Like this. Anyway, so these are my chidushim. So typewriting. So the guy used to typewrite. He used to every word. Now, if you had a new pshat, a new look on your pshat, he said. So what happened was, his talmidim went and bought him a computer. They convinced him, forget this old typewriter and go there slow. Just computer is the way to go. He says he never wrote another sefer afterwards. Very sad. Never wrote another sefer. Why? Because every single time he kept on going back and correcting things and making it better. And this. So you have a typewriter. That's it. It's in. It's in. Whatever you thought then, it's in. Okay, it's not the best. You go back and you move on. He says, if you think about how Rashi wrote, everything was b'ksav yad. Now he's talking Daf Yomi Beis. How is he going to stick it in mem? It just doesn't fit in there. How do you do it? I'm serious. It's like it's a Torah. Come on. Yeah, think about it. Okay, so you want to say my pshat is better? You like my pshat better? Okay, once you're on, you don't go back. You just look forward. You do the next daf.
He's saying Rashi wrote it because he wrote it. The editors you have a kasha.
Right.
Oh, but it's that. No. Okay, so that's a different kasha.
Someone who writes books, you can put things like that.
Correct, but once Rashi wrote it over here, it gives you a lesson. It's kishmak. We have nothing to talk about today.
What's the lesson? What's the lesson? And say, well, you put it in. What's the problem?
Maybe what they should have done is ayin Daf Yomi Beis Amud Aleph Shom Pirush Rashi.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Does it all the time, right? Yeah.
There's nothing.
You want me to stop writing?
Says the Gemara, you don't swear when somebody without das come and have a taina. So Cheresh, of course, in all of Shas is a deaf mute. In those days, they didn't have the das. Okay, so we're going to have to see what exactly this is. You don't make a katan swear. My time on my krok, he eating ishal reyeyu, kesef or kelim lishmar. What's the continuation of the pasuk? Pasuk, I missed, okay, you see this little aleph. Okay, I have to fix that aleph. Gary, are you able to fix, not now. When we're done with this, when I get off this thing, maybe enlarge the aleph. A lot of times it happens when I grab the pasuk, I don't know, the first letter. Okay, so the next pasuk is Im lo yimotze aganav v'nikrav balabayis el helikim Elohim. This is the pasuk of a Shevuos. But it says beforehand ki yitin ish. It has to be an ish and not a katan. The katan didn't give, a ish gave. Only then is there a Shevuos. Ve'ei nesinas katan klum. Okay. But you could swear to a katan and to a hegdish. As the Gemara, we have to understand what this means. In what case? And we actually have a machlokes. What happened here? See in the ratio, it says when a cheresh has a claim, you don't have to swear to him. So why are you swearing to a katan? What's the case? Omarav, the ba betainas aviv. What happened was he's saying there's a gadol involved there. There's an ish. What's the problem? The problem is you don't swear to a katan because it says in the pasuk ish. There was an ish. He's just dead now. The ish is the one that gave you money. And he's coming, he's saying, you owe my father money. You owed my late father, lent you $1 million, pay up. There's no nesina for a katan. It wasn't a nesina katan, it was a nesina of a gadol. Rabbi Lezchus Yaakov. And this goes according to Rabbi Lezchus Yaakov. Sometimes a person will swear, he'll create his own Shevuos. Ketzad. He says, I owe your father 100. It's not, there's a minhag in Yerushalayim that people are very concerned that there'll be fighting between the Yarshim, right? So they came up with a minhag that they only leave debt to the Yarshim. Like this, there's no fights. This is a little, this is fakert. I owe your father money. V'chal the pras. You should know, I'm telling you a chiddush now. I'm telling you that I owe your father $1 million, but I paid him $500,000. So is that a moedim miktas or not? And if he would come to me and say you owe me $1 million, I said I paid you back $500,000. That's a moedim miktas. But over here, I invented the whole thing. You wouldn't have known anything. I came to you after during the shiva. By the way, I owe your father $1 million, but I paid back a half. Me good. Okay, so let's see. That's a little bit of the sugi here. This guy. The aleph over here in the beginning. He should make a Shevuos. He created his own problem. He's the one that came and was moedim miktas. He is giving back a lost item, and there's already a Mishnah that says that when you give back a lost item, the owner can't force you to swear. Yeah, the famous story where there was a guy. Well, let's start with this. The Parit said, "Whoever found my 1,000 ruble purse, I'll give them 100 ruble." So Yid came forward, he found it, and he says, "Here's the 100. I want to give it back. Here's the 1,000. I want to give it back." So the Parit looks inside, he sees the 1,000, but he didn't want to pay up. He didn't want to pay the 100 ruble. It hurt him. So he said, "What are you doing? There's 2,000 in the purse," and he took him to court. And there's a Rav. It's a true story. Chaim Mazal, his name was the Rav.
Lodz.
What?
The Rav of Lodz.
Lodz, okay. I don't remember the exact place. And he told the lawyer over there. He said, "Listen, tell this to the judge," and it worked perfectly. The judge said, he says to the Parit, he says, "Are you willing to swear that there's 2,000 inside the purse?" He says, "Yes." He says, "Does it make any sense to you, Your Honor, that if somebody found 2,000 and he takes out of it 1,000 and he gives back another 1,000? He wouldn't give anything back. Why would he do that? What does he gain by that? Makes zero sense." And the judge said, "You're right, 100%." And he actually gave him the 1,000. He gave the Jew the 1,000. He said, "Doesn't make any sense. You lost a different purse. The purse with the 2,000 is a different one." I heard, and I read this, Bamis, I read that there's a little bit more to this story, that they actually paid off the judge a little bit on the side. Like they gave him Mamis, we read, it's in Oitzer Chachma. You read it? As I
didn't see that.
That's a different part. But that just ties into the story. When I was 15 years old, I was driving illegally in the mountains. I stole my parents' car. I drove around the shtickle at night, like one of those, the Motzei Shabbosim. And I got pulled over not once, but twice. I got 2 tickets. And they told me, that's it. You're not getting a license until you're 20-something years old, whatever. So we found out, back in the day, I don't want to say exactly where it was. Maybe he's still alive, and I want everybody. There's a judge. The judge, you just have to pay. Kids who went, we paid him a little money. He says, oh, you shkoyach, whatever. He says, come to the court. Come to the court. I'll take care of you, no problem. He looks at the cops there, and he goes, what is this? Where did this happen? There's no such street even in my whole district. That takes the thing, he cuts it. He says, this one? What's about? They threw it out. Anyways, these things work sometimes. Anyway. It's mamashi dangerous society by letting me have a license later on. That's a new one?
It's a new one.
Really?
You never said that one.
I'm sure I did. Yeah, he heard it. No, you're losing it. You're losing it. You're losing it. 7.5 years, you never heard the story? Rabbi said it's very exciting. I don't know if you realize. We're making a Siyum HaShas. MDY started just short of 7.5 years ago. In a month and a little bit, a month and a week. It's going to be 7.5 years. We're making a Siyum HaShas. There are a few people in this room, a bunch of people in this room that were there from the beginning. And we're going to celebrate a little small chabura. Siyum HaShas. It's unbelievable. Tough.
Confessing to bribery now, in a week you'll be doing a little zara.
What? What do you say? Something about bribery and about Zara?
Bribery, and by next week you'll be doing a little zara.
Ah, that's how it works. Okay. So we said this already, yeah? How could he argue on this idea of you being considered a great man, a tzaddik, for returning this item? How would you invented this whole loan? You told the Yassim something you never knew about. It's a mamish Mishnah. It's a mefurish Mishnah. Amarav b'shetani katan. You're not a meishav aveda. You didn't do anything great. Why? Because the katan is the one that knew that there was a loan here. Says Gemara, katan. Let's say it is a katan, but the katan is meaningless. Says Gemara, lo'elam gadol. No, we're talking about an adult. V'amai korli katan. When it comes to the father stuff, he's a minor. No, the guy's 35 years old, but he has no clue what's going on in his father's affairs. He says he's considered a katan. It just reminds me, sometimes it says on like these things, the guy just died, he left 17 Yisayimim. You find out that some of Yisayimim are 46, 39, they have 16 kids themselves. What's the gather of Yisayimim? You have to know. Is a Yasim like a poor kid? Or could a 95-year-old be a Yasim? I don't think so. He's a Nebuch, he lost his father, he's 95 years old. So I don't. Yeah, we learned about 20. Yeah. But I'm saying, when a guy has 17 kids, most likely some of them are above 20. You ask him and married and whatever. Yeah. Anyway, no. So they talk about it. Are you allowed to say something? It might be deceiving a little bit. Thinking like this is like a bunch of stuff. Some of them are independent. My point is they're independent. So the Gemara. So you're talking about a gadol. Who made the claim? An adult. He just doesn't know so much about the father's stuff. So why do you call it, you're invoking your own shvuah? It wasn't yourself. Somebody else invoked it. Says Gemara, it started with somebody else. He invoked it, and you admitted. So you admitted every Moedim Mixas is you admitted. So what's this big chiddush? Oh, sometimes you invoke your own shvuah. Why do you invoke your own shvuah? Because you admitted. Yeah, every Moedim Mixas you admitted yourself. Says Gemara, no, you're right. Let's go back. It's a katan. Elo, but the rabbi came in. Let's just say the thing because this is a famous sugya and it goes a little. Turning of the daf is sponsored by Innovations LC in honor of our sons Kalmo and Yisrael for learning Sanhedrin, Makis, and Shavuos rebellion. At our going global to be mechazik them, MDY Chevra on the East Coast. See you there, anonymous, in honor of all the holy tzaddikim that work so hard to bring us the daf every day with no credit given. Enough said. Zok the Gemara. Do'amar Rab the famous rabbi from Baba Metzia, the beginning of Baba Metzia, Baba Kama. Why did the Torah say that somebody that admits partially, he has to swear? Because a person is embarrassed to lie in front of the lender. In fact, he wanted to deny the whole thing. The reason why he didn't deny the whole loan, it's just human nature that you cannot look in the face. You can't look him in the face of the lender. He did you such a favor, and then you're going to say it never happened. And then what? By you saying that you owe half, you're not a Meshav Aveda. You didn't return anything. You had no choice. It's your nature. You're going to have to do it whether you like it or not. Now, delay. So the Gemara is saying, well, wait a minute. Maybe the guy is such a liar. How can you trust him swearing? Right? How's it going to help me to give him a shvuah? He's a bad guy, no? No. He should have admitted to everything. The reason why he didn't admit, this is human nature as well. He's not a liar, he's not a ganav, he doesn't want to take advantage. He wants to pay back. He's just trying to buy time, he doesn't have the money. And the Torah says, give him a shvuah so that he could come forward and admit the whole thing. Now, what's a machlokes? Rabbi Yaakov says, listen, if a 10-year-old kid comes to you and says, you owe my father $1 million, you're embarrassed to look him in the face and say not true. He loses his migui of a Meshav Aveda, they shouldn't make a shvuah. That's not true. A person naturally is embarrassed of the lender, but he couldn't care less about the lender's son. He doesn't know the kid. He couldn't care less. A lie right in his eyes. And the fact that he was nice and he admitted to half, Meshav Aveda, we treated as a guy giving back a lost item. Says the Gemara, how can you even say it goes like Rabbi Yaakov? It says in the beginning, yo, my father money. Now, according to Rabbi Yaakov, he's not a Meshav Aveda. You have to swear to Yasam. Says Gemara, no, there's a difference in Yisayim. When a Yasam, a little kid, says, I was there, I witnessed it, I saw you borrowing money from my father, that's amazing. Then he's already nervous. But when he wasn't there, he's not bari, he doesn't know. He's like a regular little kid who has no clue about his father's stuff. Then he's a Meshav Aveda. Then by admitting to that little kid, then he's doing something nice and he doesn't have to swear. That's one pshat. What happened here with the katan? Another pshat is Shmuel Amar li katan. Lipara min nichsei katan. When you want to take, not the katan is suing you, you are suing the katan. Rav says that the Mishnah is talking about when the katan is suing you. The katan says, you owe my father $1 million. And now it's the opposite. Shmuel says, no, your father owed me $1 million. Lipara min nichsei katan. That's more likely, no? So even though you, the lender, middle of the shiva, without any busha, you start collecting money from a little yasam sitting shiva, and you produce a shtar. You have a shtar that can prove your point. Nevertheless, you must swear. That's what the Mishnah is coming to tell me. When you come to a yasam, you better swear. L'hegdish, what does it mean? You want to take money away from the hegdish. Somebody went and was magdish something that belongs to you. He owed it to you. He had a shiba to you. So you have to go and swear to hegdish. That's the Gemara. If that's the case, if the case is that you're trying to take money out of a katan, tanina, that we already learned. It's actually it's a Mishnah later on. In 2 daf. When it comes to Yisayim, taking from a Yasim, you have to make a shvuah. Why do I need 2? There's somebody by the name of the elder Abaya. The Tani Abayik Shisha, he said, Yisayim Shamru G'doilim. The Yisayim that we're talking about are G'doilim, are adults. Certainly youngsters. Bein L'shvuah, Bein L'ziburis. Typically a malva receives the baininess. If you have 3 types of property, you get the middle one. Even for over here by the Yisayim, they get ziburis, but you would have to swear everything that has to do with the yasam. Whether he's yasam means not an orphan as much as and somebody inherited something. So you could be a 50-year-old and you could still call the Yassim in this case, because when it comes to, you don't know your father's affairs. So I need two Mishnayos, one to tell me about a Katan and one to tell me about a Gadol. Otherwise I would say, no, it's only by a Gadol, by a Katan you have to swear. Maybe by a Gadol you don't have to swear. He's an adult, why should I have to swear? So I say two Mishnayos for that. L'hegdish liparmin ichze hegdish, we already said, we explained, that means to take from Hegdish, from the Beis HaMikdash. That also, Tanina, and Chazim Shubadim leiparel b'Shevuos. You need a Shevuos when you come to collect from real estate. What's the difference if it's from a private person or from Hegdish? Itzrich. There's a chiddush here. A person makes a trick with a hedyot. What's a trick here? Like something like this, let's say. No. You have like this. You have a borrower and a lender. When you borrow money, your real estate becomes meshubah to the lender. The loiva has real estate, and it becomes obligated. There's a lien to the malva. If you don't pay up, the malva comes and takes the real estate. So what happened was, he gave you money, you gave him a shtar. He paid you back, he gave you back the shtar. But they made a trick. They said, here, malva, pretend you never got the money from me. Take my shtar, and this real estate which I sold after I received the loan, go after it. Take the real estate away from the guy. Again, loiva tells the malva, pretend I never paid you back. I paid you back $1 million. But you go ahead and take this property from the guy. Take the property, now he gets mad. And then once you get the property, we'll divide the property 50-50. It's a big deal. The loiva just gained $500,000. It's trickery. I heard a crazy story. This is just to save people. There was one of the levites of the Ggedolei Hadar, I think it was Reb Pinchas Schreiber, they said. A guy comes back to his car after Levaya, and there's a note on the car. It says, I stepped on your roof of the car to see the Levaya, and I damaged it a little bit. I want to pay you back. Call me back. So the guy takes a look. He sees a little dent on his roof. He calls the guy back. He says, okay, very good. How much is it? He says, okay, you got 750 shekel. Okay? He says, meet me up, I'll pay you. So he comes in, he pays him. He says, okay, here. He gives him a check, like $1,500 shekel check. He says, if you have, I don't have like cash on me. Just give me some change. So the guy thinks to himself, okay, the guy's mamish, he's an honest guy, because he called, he left me a note, and Lamaisa, he was just a thief, just a trick. And yeah, he probably went like this, banged with his fist on the car, and then he put a note, and okay. You got to be careful. They do it in shuls also. That's what the Gemara is saying. Aval hegdish. They know the moisek knuni al hegdish. Somebody's not going to steal from the Beis HaMikdash. They do. They'll go to the guy with the shul. Here, take my credit card. Give me charge me $1,000 on my credit card. Give me $300 change. Why not? The shul gained $700, and see you later. You don't know the guy. Nothing. You got to be careful. Kamash will learn that people will trick hegdish. As the Gemara Bamar Ravuna Shchim Rashi Hegdish Kol Nechasav. Huh?
Just tell us about hegdish.
That's your yeah. Shchim Rashi Hegdish Kol Nechasav. Why would I tafka? Okay. Shchim Rashi Hegdish Kol Nechasav. A shchimera, a guy who's on his deathbed, he says, "I'm giving everything." Like lahavdil, like what do they call the guy? Warren Buffett. All my billions, Bill Gates. Everything he owns, he gave to Africa, and he gave his daughter $1 million or whatever. Like $150 billion to the Africa to this, for no, whatever. He's saving the world. Everything. Gave his kids mamish like peanuts. So he gives kol nechasav. Then he says, oh, I forgot I owe 100 to so-and-so. Neman. He's believed. Chazaka, he's not going to trick hegdish. But we just said a second ago, people do trick hegdish. That's the chiddush, that they trick hegdish. That's why I have to say it in both. No, there's certain things that people will never lie and steal from hegdish when they're on their deathbed. They have zero to gain. When it comes to a healthy person, we have to be chayshish that people will steal from the Beis HaMikdash because they have something to gain from it. They're still alive. I'm just wondering if you remember this. I'll give you the two lashonos. If you remember, raise your hand. Don't even say it, because you might. What's the difference between neder and an adava when it comes to hegdish? What's a neder and what's an adava? Which one are you responsible for and which one are you not responsible for? Neder or an adava? Huh? Anybody? Which one are you responsible for? Neder. Why? How do you know? You guys don't remember zoo? Zoo. What's the simon? Dove is in a zoo. Okay, here we go. The dove, the bear, is in the zoo. Zoo means nidava. Just this. If I point my finger at this animal, I say, "This is the one I'm bringing to the Beis Hamikdash." That's it. Just this one, nothing else. Oh, I guess he didn't do that. He sent me at night, but he didn't put it in. Okay. Fine. So says the Mishnah. Let's see if we can do the Mishnah here real quick. We'll see most of the Mishnah in the Gemara. There's certain things that you don't swear. Ha'avadim, slaves, vashtaris, vakarkais. We already had this. Karka. You don't make a shvon. Any shbar malak karkais and avadim hukshul karkais, vegdeishois and hegdish. Ein behen tashlumi kefal. And you don't have to pay double when you steal a star, karka, eved. Why is there no 4 and 5 when you steal a eved? Anybody? Because it's not a sell or shar. Only in a sell or shar there's 4 or 5. Shar b'chinam, somebody who watches something for free. Eidel nishba, he doesn't have to swear when it comes to these things. Avadim shtaris karkais and gedeshus. Nois is sachar. If he makes money for watching it, Eidel mishalim, doesn't have to pay when it's stolen. If you say harei a lie, then you're chayiv to replace it because it's on me, not on the animal. That's called a neder. Then you do have to swear. But if you point at this animal, you say harei zu. So zu, a doiv nedava is in a zoo. You don't have to replace it. You don't have to swear. There are things that are like a karka, they're karka, but they're not a karka. What does that mean? Chacham don't agree. I gave you 10 full grape clusters. What are they? Vines. Okay. And there's only 5. Since it's attached to the ground, has halacha like karka. And you only swear on something that has a certain amount, a certain weight, a certain count. By smaller masar I gave you a full house. Because smaller masar I gave you a full pouch of money. Whatever, I don't know, whatever you gave, put over here, you take. Potter. Oh, check this picture out, and with that, we're going to be finished for today. This guy says, you gave me fruit up to the window. And he says, no, up to the beam of the ceiling. So that's already a certain amount. On that, you're chayav a Shevuos. Rabboisai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the Zechus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDAF.com.